Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I'm a company valuation expert in St. Louis, Missouri. I have the privilege of discussing venture capital and startup company valuations today with Lorenzo Carver, a valuation expert in Boulder, Colorado. And then the next thing that they kind of go through is like, okay, well, then I need a formal valuation and I need to know what I'm worth. And, I haven't really started anything. So, I mean, let's be real. Like, do you need a formal valuation if you're seeking
Waste
funding?
of money, waste of time. So complete waste of time. First of all, the least qualified people to tell you the value of an early stage company is a person doing a valuation. I mean, just being honest, and I would definitely include myself, and I've looked at thousands of these things. So, and there's just, you have to have very close domain expertise. And so, in my opinion, in a lot of cases, the person that's actually writing the check, if they're writing a lot of those checks, they have a feel for what it's worth. And they have that feel only because they put that on the line several times. They've talked to the people, they've seen the industry. So the person writing the checks, 9 times out of 10, they have the best perspective. Doesn't mean they have the best model. When it gets later stage, they definitely don't. But that doesn't matter, because most deals will not even get to later stage. Then beyond that, there's people that just have really extraordinary domain expertise. So one person is this guy, Robert Scoble, who's been around tech companies. He's written several books. He's had a camera shop. I mean, all this stuff, but he could tell you the value of Tesla, before Tesla was Tesla. He could tell you the value of Twitter before Twitter, half the people in the world even knew what it was. So no valuator could do that, just honestly. I mean, in fact, one of the best valuators for these types of companies, I remember him at a conference once, making jokes about people with Teslas. And I thought to myself, you obviously have not been in a Tesla. This was, I don't know, maybe I'm going to say a decade ago or something, right? So, because if you had, you'd realize it's going to make these other cars dinosaurs, and all these companies are going to have to catch up. So, and so it's similar, but if you go further back in time, a lot of these things are there's not these layers of abstraction available. If you go back to Cisco, how many people actually even know what networking was or what a router was? Nobody had internet when they started, other than the military, right? So there's a smaller pool of people that can even understand what the value proposition is. You go further back in time, go to Intel, right? When Intel was founded, I mean, you maybe had, if you had 1 million people in the United States that even knew what a freaking semiconductor was, I would be shocked.
But that's the hard answer that I don't think people really want to hear all the time, is that the best person to kind of value what you're worth at that level is somebody that's willing to put their money into it.
Exactly.
And you might have to go through a bunch of different of those types of people that have different ways of looking at the value, that call it valuation, just like we do, but it's really private equity looks at it different. Venture capital looks at valuation different. And then within those two, every single firm looks at it different.
Exactly.
But I don't think that the startup community understands that. They kind of think, well, you're just saying that because of whatever reason. But the reality is, I said your company is worth what somebody is willing to give to you for a certain percentage, and you are willing to accept.
That's right.
Because on a given day, if you need the money, you might accept less than you would on the next day. And I think that that's hard to grasp sometimes, because they think that there's some number out there, that we're going and we're finding that number and then we're bringing it to them as a package and saying, guess what? You're worth 5 million or you're worth 1 million, and I think that that's a hard thing to understand.